Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to our August 15th Newton County Board of Education meeting. At this time, if you would, bow your heads for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Fear, I understand we have some special recognition.
Yes, sir, Mr. Turner, we sure do. Tonight, we have in attendance several students from Eastside High School and Newton College and Career Academy who have recently earned state or national recognition. Students, when I call your name, please come forward to accept your certificate from Mr. Turner, Chair of the Newton County Board of Education. Alan Miller. Alan is a senior at Eastside High School and Newton College and Career Academy. He recently earned state recognition when he was named the 2017 Georgia Northeast Region Work-Based Learning Student of the Year by the Georgia Department of Education. Alan received the award at the Georgia Association of Career and Technical Education Conference in July. He was nominated by Ms. Deborah Larry, Youth Apprenticeship Coordinator for Newton County Schools, and Ms. Elisa Eccles, Work-Based Learning Coordinator for Eastside High School. The award capped off a successful year for Alan, who was not only chosen as Eastside High School's Work-Based Learning Student of the Year, but also the 2017 Newton County School System CTAE Student of the Year. Congratulations to Alan on this outstanding accomplishment. So we're very proud of you. Next, we have several students who have earned national recognition through the College Board's AP Scholars Program. If you recall, last week we honored all 2017 AP Scholars with distinction and AP Scholars with honor. At that time, I noted that overall, Newton County School System had 83 students who earned the AP Scholar designation in 2017. Because we have so many, we've had to divide the recognition into 3 board meetings. Tonight, we will recognize Eastside High School's 2017 AP Scholars. To earn AP Scholar status, students must complete 3 or more AP exams with scores of 3 or higher. Students, when I call your name, please come forward to accept your certificate from Mr. Turner. Brooks Benton. Brooks is a senior at Eastside High School and the Newton College and Career Academy STEM Institute, and he was named an AP Scholar for 2017. Congratulations. Chase Bonney. Chase is a 12th grade student at Eastside High School, and he earned AP Scholar status for 2017 as well. Congratulations to Chase, who is not here this evening. Ralph Brown. Ralph is a senior at Eastside High School and the Newton College and Career Academy STEM Institute, and he was named a 2017 AP Scholar. Congratulations, Ralph. Jackson Grady. Jackson is currently a junior at Eastside High School, and he is the first Eastside High School student to ever attain AP Scholar status during his sophomore year. So congratulations to Jackson Grady, who is not present this evening. Congratulations. Clay Jones. Clay is a senior at Eastside High School, and he earned the 2017 AP Scholar status. Congratulations, Clay. is it, it's Gabby. I call you Gabby. So. Sorry, Robin. Gabby Lyons. Gabby is in the 12th grade at Eastside High School, and she was named a 2017 AP Scholar. Congratulations, Gabby. And now, is it Gabrielle or Gabrielle?
Gabrielle, but Gabby.
Gabby, okay. So Gabby. See, right next to each other. So Gabby Martin. Gabby is a senior at Eastside High School, and she earned 2017 AP Scholar status as well. Congratulations, Gabby. Georgia Matheson. Georgia is a 12th grade student at Eastside High School, and she too was named a 2017 AP Scholar. Congratulations, Georgia. Anthony McAuliffe. Anthony is a senior at Eastside High School, and he was named a 2017 AP Scholar. Congratulations, Anthony. Ryan McCullough. Ryan is a 12th grade student at Eastside High School, and he also earned the 2017 AP Scholar status. Congratulations, Ryan. Gracie Miller. Gracie is a senior at Eastside High School and the Newton College of Career Academy STEM Institute, and she too is a 2017 AP Scholar. Congratulations to Gracie Miller. Isabel Rogers. Isabel is a senior at Eastside High School, and she was named a 2017 AP Scholar. Congratulations, Isabel. Isaac, how do we say your last name? Eugen, okay. Isaac Eugen. Isaac is a 12th grade student at Eastside High School, and he also earned the 2017 AP Scholar status. Congratulations, Isaac. There are also 5 students who were named or who earned AP Scholar status but could not attend this evening's meeting. They are Zachary Glover, Camille Hay, Ryan Shirley, and Jill Strickland of Eastside High School, and Logan Hartzell of Eastside High School, and the Newton College and Career Academy STEM Institute. Let's congratulate them in their absence. And finally, let's congratulate all of our AP Scholars in attendance this evening. Please keep in mind that each of these students here this evening can earn AP Scholar status or higher again in the future, in this particular school year. So congratulations to all of our AP Scholars in attendance this evening. We're so very proud of you. And a round of applause is definitely important. AP courses are very challenging courses, and I know that you all have had to work very hard to attain AP Scholar status, and we're very proud of you. Mr. Turner, this concludes the recognition portion of our meeting this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Ferry. If you would, with all the parents and other relatives of these students, would you please stand, please? On behalf of the superintendent and the Newton County Board of Education board members, we'd like to thank you for your support that you've given these students to help provide them the support and the tools necessary to make them successful in life. So we'd like to give you a round of applause.
Thank you, parents, but also we often don't recognize our school staff, but they are here this evening, so do want to recognize Mr. Chur, Mr. Buff, Mr. Walker, for your continued support of the students in your schools, and also for providing them with an opportunity to earn AP credits and AP courses to participate in many of them. As a matter of fact, the most in the region. We're proud of the work that you guys and your teams have done to ensure our kids are getting the very best. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Ms. Ferry. This leads us to a very important part of our board meetings, and I know you all are very anxious to stay, but for some unknown reason that you must leave, now's a good time to do so. Thank you. Okay, I need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bailey. Any questions or concerns? Having none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the minutes, please.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson. Any questions or concerns? Having none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. Superintendent's report.
Good evening. The operations report, there are no changes to the financial report or operations report, and under CIT program report, there are no changes to the CIT report or to the enrollment report. If you would like to accept those, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, having heard the report, can I get a motion to approve item A and B as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Approved by, motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Baker. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. We have no old business. We'll move to new business.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, we have a technology plan presentation by our Director of Technology, Mr. Adam File.
Okay, go ahead.
Everybody get comfortable. We'll have about an 80-page presentation.
Yes.
Breeze right through it. I know you were looking forward to it this afternoon. All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Adam File. I'm Director of Technology here in Newton County. And what I prepared for you today is kind of a technology update, state of technology address, whatever fancy title you want to put to it right now. Just really let you know what we've done, where we are, and where we kind of want to go as it relates to technology here in the district. But before we get into the meat and potatoes and everything, I kind of want to talk about our goals. And one thing we try to do when we shaped our technology goals is to make them where people can understand them and actually follow through with our goals. Sometimes in education, we like our words. So sometimes we want to put a lot of words in things. I'm a simplistic kind of guy. So right here, our first goal, we want to use the best instructional practices with technology. Pretty simple and easy, and I think our teachers, our students, our staff members can relate and understand that one. Our second goal, we want to know what tools are available and how to use them, keeping it simple. Our next, we want to use technology to improve communication. We have countless technology tools. We want to make sure that we're utilizing these tools to not only engage our students, our parents, and our community stakeholders. And this fourth goal, which we're going to kind of focus on in this presentation, is to ensure technology is available and it works as advertised. We have countless pieces of technology here in the district, and we want to make sure that our users have access to them and it works just like we say it's supposed to work. So pretty simple, 4 technology goals. So I wanted to really paint the picture of what we're trying to do here in the district before we get into our presentation. So with that being said, it's reasonable to understand that everyone here in our district, staff members and students, they rely on technology to do their job, to perform effectively, and we want to make sure that all of our students have the technology that's relevant to their learning experience. So with that being said, it must be reliable, it has to be predictable, and as I said before, it has to work the way it's supposed to work. So we want to look at technology as an investment that's crucial to properly leveraging the value that it has to offer. So our district is in a position where we need to make sure that we have a technology, equipment, and enhancement program. And that's really what this presentation is going to focus on, is to get us a plan in place where we can replace the technology as needed, and we can enhance the technology that we've already invested into here in the district. So a current reality. This board and the district has made a valuable investment into the technology here in the district. We currently have over 1,300 classrooms equipped with our ViewPath camera system and audio enhancement, also known as the SAFE system. We've integrated this. We've finished up our last phase. We're finishing up our last phase this year with all of our classrooms. We have the largest deployment of the ViewPath camera system in the country. I believe we have our first site visit set up for next month. We're going to have school districts coming in seeing what we're doing with our ViewPath system. So we are on the cutting edge as it relates to audio enhancement and ViewPath. As I speak to other tech directors around the country, they know about what we're doing as it relates to audio enhancement and ViewPath. So I commend the board for their efforts in making this a reality. Our next component that we have over 1,000 interactive whiteboards, also known as our active boards and projectors, currently here in the district. And we have 194, almost 200 interactive projectors. So those kind of give you the same active board features without the board. We have those at our Newton High School, if you've seen some of those in those classrooms there. We've just completed our AeroHive access points, almost 2,000 access points throughout the district. This is allowing us to be able to have mobile devices, wireless access in every classroom, where all of our students could have the possibility to have a technology Wi-Fi enabled device and utilize them. And we've also upgraded our phones to our new Cisco IP phones. The board office and service center were our last buildings that the board approved, and we were able to complete that. So we have invested a lot of money in technology, and we are, as I said, on the cutting edge in a lot of areas. What do we currently have out there? Well, we have over 15,000 devices for staff and student use. Through our Title I dollars, we've made an investment of almost 4,000 machines in our district. Now, with that being said, we have 9,477 devices that are over a 4-year age in deployment. Also, with our current deployment of devices, we have a mixture of teachers that have desktops and laptops currently in our district. So here's a graph that really breaks down the age of the machines that we have here in the district. As you can see, the brown area, goldish kind of color, we should put a better color there, but right there is about 40% of our machines fall within this less than or equal to 4 years. So about 13% of our devices are 2014 machines, 15, 16, 17. But what I really want to draw your attention to, over 60% of our devices here are greater than 4 years in age. We have 23% of our machines that are out there are 2011 machines. A lot of these are multi-point computers that we've put in the classroom. At the time, they fit what we needed, but those machines have really got long in the tooth, and they really can handle some of the programs that we're asked to run in the classroom. We have a large portion of the machines in here that are 2012 machines. They some of them meet the minimum requirements for running Windows 10, and sometimes minimum does not really cut it. So we want to make sure we kind of have a plan in place to kind of start replacing these machines as they're aged in our district. So here's a breakdown of devices that we have out here that are 2010 to 2013. We have about 708 netbooks. And I'm going to be totally honest and transparent with you. I can probably put a red X on these netbooks right now because they cannot really be utilized in the classroom. They don't hold a battery charge. The antenna in those are dated antennas, so they really don't work well with the wireless networks as they stand today. These 1,500 iPads, most of these, if not all, were purchased via Title I dollars, starting in 2011 for most of these, and these are the iPad 2s. So these iPads no longer take any updates from Apple. They're running Apple iOS 9, and Apple's getting ready to release their iOS 11, meaning there are 2 operating systems behind, and they rewrote their operating system, so now developers are writing apps that those iPads can no longer run. These laptops that you see here, once again, a lot of these are long in the tooth as it relates to the cards, so their batteries are decaying on those devices. And with these laptops, and I'm just going to go into the desktops a little bit, these devices are older in nature, the Dell devices, so it's harder for us to get the parts for these, causing more downtime for these machines. And really, it's getting to that point where is it worth to put the money into the replacement part when you're talking about a $300 part for a $600 computer? How many of those do we want to replace, and how much longer before something else goes out of those? And as you see at these desktops, also half of these are going to be our virtual desktops for multi-points that we have in our district. So these were the stations where it's like one tower, if you will, with 4 virtual computers, and we've running into a lot of issues with those and starting to have to replace those in our district. All right, so with that being said, what we're looking at doing is having a plan in place to provide each one of our teachers with a laptop. We'll take care of the issue of having all of our teachers on a level playing field as it relates to access to technology to be able to utilize them in their classroom and at home, and when we do trainings. Sometimes we have trainings here at the board office or at Palmer Stone or things of that nature, and some teachers have laptops that they can bring, some must check them out of their building. So we want to make sure that all teachers have the tools necessary. We're looking at pursuing a shared cart model. So with that shared cart model, it will be 1 device per 2 students in grades pre-K through 12. This ratio will allow us to have equal access of technology in our schools. In our multi-point stations, we're looking at replacing those with Nook computers, and they're basically mini computers that would attach to the back of a monitor. And so in a lot of our situations where there's 4 stations, it would go down to 2 in the classroom, because as we look at getting more carts in place, we don't necessarily need 4 classroom computers if the carts are readily available. But sometimes you just need to get to a computer and you don't have the carts available, so a student could utilize that. And also continue to leverage our BYOD devices, but really put an emphasis on making sure our students, if they're bringing devices in to utilize them, there's some requirements that the devices are able to meet so the kids can be productive in our classroom. So with this being said, this proposal will add approximately 11,000 laptops, 368 carts, and upgrade computer labs as needed. Now, as we look at upgrading the computer labs as needed, kind of going back to my point earlier, with the number of carts that we're talking about adding, we don't necessarily need every computer lab that we currently have. And this would be a conversation that we'd have with the building principals, with the curriculum department, to determine the spaces that we maybe reduce the computer lab as that computer lab ages out, and converting that space to something else. So I don't have a plan in place today for that space, but that'd be something that would be done in conjunction with the curriculum department and the building principals. All right, so what will this deployment look like? Here's the breakdown of what we're talking about adding at the high school level, the middle school level, and the elementary. And these numbers are based on the 2016-17 enrollment numbers. So this is what it would kind of look like as we're talking about deploying at the various grade bands. Now, with that being said, I'm not proposing we do that this year. Unless somebody wants to write a check right now, let me know, and we can make it happen. With technology, the answer is never no, but if you give me time and money, I can make it happen. So what we're looking at this year is rolling out the teacher laptops, piloting some devices in classrooms, and adding 750 classroom computers. And this is that multi-point replacement that we're talking about. So we'll be looking at, over the next 4 years, deploying 877 devices per year at the high school level with 29 carts, middle school and elementary school. And this cycle kind of puts us in a rotation where every 4 years, or every year, we're adding the devices. Now, I do want to also make sure I make note of, when we get to this 2020, 21, 22 year, it's not necessarily time to celebrate, because really it's time to look at these 18, 19 machines, and do we need to start replacing those? Because one thing to keep in mind with laptop computers, they are high mobility, high use machine. So the more you open and close it, the more moving parts, the likelihood of them lasting 5 years greatly diminishes. So we want to make sure we kind of have this plan in place to plan out for that. Now the next slide is the slide everybody likes to see. Numbers. All right. We don't want that one, right? Or do we want that one? So here's what we're talking about, projecting the dollars here. So this year, now one thing I do want to point out, the total down here, I did not add in the teacher laptops. And I'll point that out in a moment. we're looking at this year making an investment of $757,000 for the teacher devices, purchasing approximately 950. And here would be what the breakdown would look like for student devices per year and the number of carts per year. When we look at our carts, the carts hold approximately 30 devices, and so that's what the breakdown would look like. So for our student deployment, to get us at a ratio of 1 to 2 over the next 4 years, it would look like about $5.4 million investment into devices. All right, so one thing is getting the devices, but we want to make sure that we are utilizing those devices. So I'm not going to go into all the details of the instructional plan, but we do have a plan kind of mapped out with our instructional technology department over the next 4 years. So this is kind of what we have in place to kind of give you a snapshot. So we've broken out from our objectives and our action and our outcomes for our teachers, administrators. And I want to point out on these plans, we are focusing in on the key components and tools that we're leveraging here in our district, such as our Canvas, our learning management system, leveraging Discovery Education, Office 365, our ViewPath system, ClassFlow, which is the next step in our Promethean Active Board system, and Google Apps for Education. So we have that in place for our teachers. Similar components here for our administrators, students, and you can't forget our parents. We want to make sure that they're informed and they understand what's happening. One of the things that was pointed out when we had our Parent Technology Palooza, parents were very happy that we were offering that and said we need to do more things like that in the future as we're rolling out this technology so they can help their kids and understand what's going on. So we made sure we included this. So we have a similar layout to that over the next 4 years that we've kind of mapped out some things that we want to make sure we include in this proposal. So another component that we want to keep in mind is not added in here is support. Because I'd be lying to you if I told you that this would be easy to roll out that many devices and support it throughout the district. So I want to make sure I'm being clear with you. One of the things that we're talking about doing this, currently we have enough instructional technology staff to provide training for all of our sites. But it's very difficult with 2 currently instructional technology specialists to go back and provide that support. So we get the training, they're off to the next building to provide training, but after training we all know, okay, I did it, can you help me out? Okay, I can get back over there next week or one afternoon. So we have that dilemma there. And currently, with all the technology that we're adding, you have our wide area network, our local area network, so on and so forth. These components are becoming a chore to maintain as we are adding these with these devices. And we also want to make sure that we have the staff to support the mobile devices as they're in the hands of the students. So we'd be looking at possibly over the next 4 years recommending additional personnel as needed to possibly add 2 additional instructional technology specialists, an operational technology coordinator, and in a position of a network technician that provides support for our mobile devices as they're being utilized in our classrooms. So I also want to state this before I wrap this up, and I want to make sure everyone is totally have a total understanding on this. Technology ultimately cannot be the silver bullet to say all of our kids are going to all of a sudden become Rhodes Scholars. That's not what it's tied to. We're talking about closing our digital divide and giving our students opportunities. I'd be lying to you if I told you if we give every kid a device today that we're going to all of a sudden have great test scores. There's a lot of research out there that will tell you it gives you a more engaged classroom, a more rigorous classroom. Those students, therefore, will attend school at a higher attendance clip. And we would think once we have them in here that we can educate them and we'll eventually get to where we want to be with our scores. So with that being said, I'm concluding the technology update, say the technology address, whatever you want to call it. And if you have any questions or concerns, Ms. Fury would be glad to answer those for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have 2.
Go ahead.
So I know on the goals, one of my questions actually is related to the goals. I know the majority of the presentation was about the deployment and getting new computers and how we're going to go about doing that. But I got a question related to the goal because I had asked you this question before. And it's one of the goals you said use technology to improve communication. And you said there were countless ways to do it, and you wanted to make sure that we were using all of them. And I know before I had asked you about using kind of like one main technology application for communication, because a lot of parents or outside people were saying it was very confusing because different people were using different things or a variety of things. So was there a discussion during the technology conference this summer about that?
Not specifically on that, but I'll tell you this much. It's funny you mentioned that. Actually, tomorrow I'm meeting with our school messenger representative because we are in the process of transitioning to our new website, and they also are doing our website on a way we can tie in those tools together.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so
yeah,
you're working on it.
working on that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And then the other one is about the priority list for upgrades and deployment, as far as like the classrooms that first year that you named. So how are you going to prioritize those, or is that still a discussion going on?
Well, ultimately, we would look at the age of devices in a building. For example, there's a particular school out there, elementary school, that has just under 500 total machines in the building, but out of that number, over 200 of those are the multi-points, and the rest of their machines are 2012, 13.
Okay.
So that would be a building possibly that would be prioritized versus a school that may have used some Title I dollars recently to purchase multiple cards, so theirs maybe a year or two old. So ultimately, we would look at the age of the devices as we start doing that cycle.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Bailey?
The voice over IP phone, is there a contingency plan if the internet's down?
Yes, we do. Well, with the internet goes out, we do have every building does have a
Landline?
analog line, so we still can call into those lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned a 2-to-1 ratio for the kids. And my question was going to be about the computer labs. Would they be necessary? And you were headed there with the answer, but I would tie to the staff. Don't we have staff in those computer labs, personnel that are in the computer labs?
Yes.
So as we phase those out, you're phasing those positions, that specific position out, not the person, but the position.
Not necessarily, because when you talk about now the computer lab is no longer a standalone location. You're still going to need support as the devices are in those classrooms. So
Okay.
possibly the person being more out in the field, if you will,
Okay.
versus in a stationary lab. Now, in the elementary space, in a lot of cases, that person also has a class or part of their specials rotation. So they're also doing like the keyboarding without tears component, Common Sense Media, and other things of that nature in that computer lab space as well. So the elementary position that you're referring to is a little bit different than what it looks like at the middle school and at the high school.
Okay. All right. Well, because I was wondering how are you going to get all this done with 4 new staff over 4 years, right? That's just centrally located. So all of those computer lab folks will need to be trained to be able to handle a whole entire school, right? So we have an IT person on every campus.
Well, we currently have a staff of 12 school technicians that service our schools throughout the district. You have your school technician, then we have our school technology assistants, which are the computer lab positions that you're referring to handle basically tier 1 support in those locations.
Yeah.
So when
computers, monitors upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Got it.
I have a question. What's your approach on utilizing vendors to supply or purchase the equipment? Would it be a single vendor that's going to supply X number of widgets or whatever, or are you going to use more than one vendor to supply?
We would work closely with our procurement department to determine the best approach as it relates to purchasing machines. I know currently, for example, our desktop computers, as we purchase those, we use our state contracts and purchase those through Bytespeed. Same thing that we've been purchasing in the past with our Dell machines. But I know this year, as I mentioned with our pilots, we have several devices that we are currently utilizing now to determine what's going to be the best fit for the grade band as it relates to the devices. And then we'll work with our procurement department to determine the best purchasing options as it relates to the machines.
You work with what department? I didn't catch
Procurement.
that. Procurement. Well, that's what bothers me, because we're going to the state to look at each time we submit a request. I don't have the confidence that we're going to get the equipment. It will be based on the price at that particular time for that particular work function. And we'll have inconsistency and compatibility issues downstream, because as a whole, we don't maintain, and it's difficult to maintain, what industry is participating in what function and what computer. So it is my opinion and experience, if we limit the number of vendors, we can best control our ultimate investment.
Well, as it relates to the vendors, what we currently have, for example, our Dell computers that we use for our laptops. So when we look at our model, we would keep our model, our maker of computers that are decided. Now, from there, you have different vendors that can give you different price points as it relates to the computers. But Dell may change their model from a 3350 to a 3360 of the next year, but at the end of the day, it's still a Dell computer. We'd look at who can get ultimately the best price point for those devices that we're deploying in the district. So we would leverage our total number of devices ultimately to get the best price point for our machines. Is that kind of answering where you want to go?
Well, I hear you, but my experience don't allow me to agree with you.
Okay.
I still say if we reduce the number of vendors, we are able to track their upgrades and the computers as years go by, antiquated equipment. We are best in a position to do that. Once we allow every computer, every company in, this is compatible with this operation, that one is compatible, it's havoc to maintain and to manage effectively. And
well, once we go down the path, I mean, we're ultimately going to be working with that vendor, that model. We're not going to be mix and matching what we're utilizing.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying will happen. Once you go to purchasing, it becomes a price point, not a consistency in the equipment that we want to purchase. It will be changed on you.
Okay, ultimately, we would set the requirements for the machines that we're trying to utilize. So it may be a lower price point, but we're not going to get a big ink pen of laptops because it's cheaper. It's still going to have to meet our requirements. And going back to what I was saying earlier with the pilot, that's why we're utilizing certain devices this year to figure out what's going to be the best device when they're in the hands of fourth graders, opening and closing them, and them putting them in the cart, taking them out the cart. So we turn that vendor, that model, has the best machine, best technology support as it relates to repairing and warranty, then we'll kind of go with it from there. So it's more or less, it's determining the device that we want to go with, and then the vendors can purchase those devices and give us different dollar amounts for said device. Example, our current teacher laptop that we have out there, our Dell model. That price point, different vendors, we've gotten varying price points on that one, $100 difference between one vendor and another vendor to purchase that the same machine. So we know the machine we want. It's a matter of finding who can get us the best price point on the machine that meets our specifications for our students and the users here in the district.
Thank you for your comments.
Correct me if I'm wrong. During your state bidding process, isn't it true that you will set the standards, your specs that you're looking for?
That's correct.
And you give those specs to the state. And if they have a company that can meet those states, they're able to give you a better price because they deal with a large volume. Now, you do have the option, if what the state bid is offering do not meet your specs, to go with another company. Am I correct?
Let me defer back. You work a little bit more with the...
Just to back up to Mr. Johnson's comments, I think you're just talking about standardization of products. Am I right? Okay. And so that would certainly be a consideration in this and has been for some time. As you mentioned, desktop computers for many years we've purchased from one source because of that, to make sure that those folks warranty those items and that we have some point of contact, and so that all of our equipment is from a single source. And the same thing with laptops. So really, right now we have two sources of supply. And it's my understanding from Mr. Fowle that he's going to work with principals and teachers to identify the types of equipment that are needed in the school district. And once he has that, we can begin the process of looking at what types of equipment we could standardize to.
Well, I applaud you for that approach, but again, here in this county, in this system, we have not always purchased the equipment from a vendor that will be around. We got, for an example, the telephone. We got a number of different kinds on campus.
I can't wade into telephones. But
Well,
I can say for desktops and laptop computers.
I'm citing this as an example.
Right, yes.
And there's no reason why it would not occur
No.
with the computers,
No.
because it has happened with the telephone. The same scenarios sits there now.
Right.
So,
Agreed.
okay.
Yes, sir. And to Mr.
Well, I can say right now we are our current phone system now. You know, I know, for example, we are Cisco phones in every building. Everyone has the same phone, so we can manage that with our contract, which is not later with our Cisco.
And back to Mr. Turner's point, we would certainly, once we know what kind of equipment that we may be standardizing to or considering, then we would begin to look to see if it's advantageous to look at a state contract or other modes of purchasing to acquire those goods.
Right.
But certainly, function drives the decision-making process.
Ms. Baker?
I'm sorry, I got one more question,
Oh.
just for clarity purposes. So, I mean, like, doing it year by year, though, allows you the opportunity to pick a device that is different, that may be better than the previous year. So, like, if we were to do a mass buy, right, we would get the same device, the same specs, and everything. But doing it year by year, because technology is always changing,
That's correct.
allows us the opportunity that if something new comes out, to get that the next year on those new products and moving forward.
And those contracts are built in such a way that they allow for that new technology.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Great work.
We have no old business. We'll move to new business, item A.
And item A, Mr. Chairman, there are no changes.
No changes. I need a motion to approve item A.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson, motion by Ms. Coggins. Any questions or concerns?
I do.
Go ahead.
I just want to ask a historical question. Just to kind of clear up some confusion that may be going on in the community. So, exactly. Now, I know it's been more than 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 years.
Right.
How many years has Washington Street Community Center had that grant?
They are going on year number 5.
Year number 5. Okay. And then one more question for you. So at the end of the year, usually you do a presentation to us to provide the results of the audit.
Yes.
The things that we must abide by in terms of parental meetings, field trips.
Yes.
Academic progress and monitoring, as well as increasing grades and scores, and all of that is in your presentation.
Yes.
And so that people can see the progress that those after-school programs are making.
Yes,
on
ma'am.
a yearly basis.
Yes, ma'am.
What month is that usually?
That's
done?
going to be in September.
Okay.
At the second meeting in September.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. Item B.
Item B and C, Mr. File will be presenting those to you, Mr. Chairman.
Dr. Jordan has item B.
Jordan has
Good evening.
Good evening.
The superintendent recommends the purchase of an upgrade of FastBridge learning software, a component of the comprehensive student assessment solution from Illuminate Education. Illuminate Education's comprehensive student assessment solution provides a turnkey platform to handle the school system's student assessment needs and documentation. One component, FastBridge Learning Software, a computer-adaptive testing and curriculum-based management module, was piloted and used to monitor students as part of the response to intervention process. Due to its success, it was deemed advantageous to utilize this software throughout the school system. The total cost is $84,000. The cost will be paid for with budgeted FY18 funds.
I need a motion to approve item B.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Coggins. Any questions or any concerns? Having none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item C.
Hello again. The superintendent recommends the library and asset management software needed for the school system be purchased from Follett School Solutions. Follett is the largest provider of library asset and textbook automated management solutions in the K-12. The purchase includes the software subscriptions as well as the necessary maintenance and support. Follett is a sole source provider of both Destiny and Resource Manager solutions. The total cost is $29,425.69, and the total cost will be paid for out of FY18 general funds. Additional documentation is on file and available for review.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve item C.
So move.
Motion by Ms. Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bailey. Any questions or concerns? Having none, all in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Motion carries. Item D.
The superintendent recommends the annual renewal contract and purchase with Infinity Solutions Incorporated of Macon, Georgia to be approved. The maintenance agreement for the Arrowhive access points and the maintenance agreement for the Cisco infrastructure equipment. The contract was originally awarded in August 2012 through a competitive solicitation process as part of the school system's yearly E-rate submissions. It included all necessary hardware as well as the maintenance and support. The maintenance agreement being renewed includes the software subscriptions, customer service, and support for all the Arrowhive access points within the school, with a total contract value of $109,270.67. This cost will be paid for with budgeted FY18 general funds, and additional documentation is on file and available for review. This is for the maintenance Cisco infrastructure equipment. The technology networks at schools and facilities continue to expand and evolve. It becomes critical to have a maintenance and support systems in place to keep the operating at optimum efficiency. The technology department has chosen Cisco SmartNet, a multifaceted technical solution service to meet this need. SmartNet provides the school system's personnel with technical assistance, online support, detailed diagnosis to solve problems with its core switch, rack switch, and phone infrastructure. The service also provides ongoing operation and systems update, rapid hardware replacement, and on-site repair with replacement or with products as needed. The school system will utilize a competitive bid contract managed by the General Service Administration to purchase SmartNet maintenance agreement for the service program. The total cost will be $349,972.49. This cost will be paid for with budgeted FY18 general fund dollars, and the additional documentation is on file and available for review.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve item D. Motion by Mr. Johnson, second by Ms. Coggins. Any questions or concerns?
I just have a question
Sure.
on the Cisco. We're talking about mainly just the phone system, right?
No, this is basically, this is our core, our switches, so this is the backbone of our network.
Okay. All right. And then the Arrowhives are all the access points. And is the 109,000 basically though just the subscription, annual subscription? Does that have to go through Infinity, or is Infinity going to do all of the?
Well, Arrowhive doesn't sell directly to schools; they purchase through a service, but it covers the subscription and under warranty. So it's, if one goes out next day for replacement access point, it's all included in that subscription package.
Okay.
Any other comments? Having none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item E. Dr. Barr.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, there are no changes to item E.
Can I get a motion to approve item E?
So move.
Motion by Ms. Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bailey. Any questions or concerns? Having none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. Item F.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The superintendent recommends the approval of the use of the fields at Newton High School by the New Rock Bears Football and Cheerleading Association for Youth Football. The New Rock Bears Football and Cheerleading Association has requested the use of the field at Newton High School for youth football. The field will be utilized for 6 games and 8 practices between August 19th, 2017 and October 21st, 2017. The total fee will be $1,400. Select employees will be hired. The principal of Newton High School has consented to this agreement.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve item F, please.
So move.
Motion by Ms. Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Coggins. Any concerns or questions? Having none, all in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item G.
Mr. Chairman, I believe you have a recommendation relative to
Here.
item G.
Yeah, item G, I'm sorry. We had some discussion at our last board meeting as relates to board training that we're required to have by the state. And some dates were given, and we kind of had some discussion, and everybody kind of decided on, what it was, September?
No, October the 4th.
October 4th.
That morning, it's the 4th, and I don't have the name of the one we were going to, but it was from 9 to 12. I'm sorry.
Personnel. It's personnel.
But Wednesday,
Yep.
October 4th, from 9 to 12.
School
Okay.
personnel and staff relations.
So, have y'all had an opportunity to think about it? Those dates fit everybody's calendar? Okay, if so, I need a motion to approve item H, please.
So moved.
I mean G, I'm sorry.
So moved again.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Baker. Any further discussions? Having none, all in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Motion carries. Item H.
No changes to item H, Mr. Chairman.
Can I get a motion to approve item H, please?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Baker, second by Mr. Bailey. Any questions or concerns? Having none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item I.
And item I, the superintendent recommends the approval of personnel recommendations made during executive session.
Can I get a motion to approve item I?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Baker, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bailey. Any questions or concerns? Having none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Same, motion carries. Any other matters of interest? Ms. Coggins?
I don't think so.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Bailey? Ms. Baker?
I don't have any.
Ms. Fury?
Just that football season officially begins Thursday. Newton High School plays at Sharp Stadium at 7 p.m. Friday, Alcovey at 7:30 p.m. and Saturday, Eastside at 7:30 p.m. All at Sharp Stadium. So go Newton County School System football teams. I hope that all of you will have an opportunity to get out there and see our kids. They're really excited, and our coaches, I got to hear them today at the Rotary Club. They're really excited, and I'm looking forward to a great football season for our team. So just to let everybody know, we're ready for some football.
Thank you.
Oh, one other really important thing. It's almost unbelievable. So that's why I almost forgot. We also have a longtime member of our team who elected to retire, Ms. Diane Hampton, who has been a member of the Newton County School System team for more than 31 years. And so she has served us in many capacities all over the district and landing here working with our Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Craig Lockhart. And I would just like to personally thank you for your dedication and commitment and service to our school system. Diane is in the process of working and bringing up Miss Fennell, bringing her up to speed and all the things that she does that nobody really knows from behind the scenes. Diane is working on all of the things that keep us straight. But thank you so much, Ms. Hampton, for your commitment to our school system. This is actually Diane's last board meeting, sadly. And she's not doing things or anything. And Ms. Fennell's first. So, thank you.
Thank you for your service,
Yeah.
and I hope you enjoy your retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So at this time, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Coggins, second by Mr. Johnson. Any questions or concerns? Having none, all in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, same. Motion carried. You know what? I didn't have to think about it. You know that's true. I just
Oh, it's a pleasure, Miss Hampton. You too.
Yeah,
I know, from Newton to here. Yeah.
You know, I thought about that. I should make all the kids. They got to make kids in there.
I